Chipotle paid $25 million in federal criminal fines for norovirus outbreaks that sickened more than 1,100 customers. The U.S. attorney confirmed it was the largest food safety fine in American history at the time. Taco Bell has faced class action lawsuits over its meat content. Here are the 8 chains and why. Every claim in this video is sourced from federal court filings, DOJ press releases, company SEC filings, Chapter 11, bankruptcy court records, and published consumer research. The Mexican food chain category is the most widely distributed cuisine segment in American restaurants, which is exactly what makes its documented problems worth covering. Chain 8 to stop visiting, Chuy's. Chuy's is a Texas-born casual Mexican chain acquired by Darden Restaurants, the parent of Olive Garden and Longhorn Steakhouse, for $605 million in 2024. Consumer reviews and food publications consistently describe Chuy's as charging premium casual dining prices for food that is average at best. Yahoo's consumer sentiment analysis specifically cited dry tacos, stale chips, and mediocre food at prices that do not justify the experience. Even Chuy's defenders on social media routinely describe the food as nothing more than average. A $600 million acquisition built primarily on brand loyalty to a chain its own fans describe as average is a story about perception over product. Chain 7 to stop visiting, Moe's Southwest Grill. Moe's Southwest Grill is owned by Focus Brands, the same private equity-backed conglomerate that owns Cinnabon, Auntie Anne's, Carvel, Jamba Juice, and McAllister's Deli. The pattern across every Focus Brands property is brand acquisition, operational standardization for cost efficiency, and product quality that reflects cost optimization rather than culinary investment. Consumer reviews aggregated by Yahoo and Cheapism consistently identify Moe's for quality control failures that produce dramatically different experiences across locations. A burrito chain that cannot reliably produce the same burrito twice has a structural problem that its Focus Brands parentage is unlikely to resolve. Chain 6 to stop visiting, Qdoba Mexican Eats. Qdoba is owned by Apollo Global Management and operates as the most visible national alternative to Chipotle in fast casual Mexican. Consumer sentiment analysis cited by Yahoo describes it as Chipotle's less desirable copycat, having opened 2 years after the more famous chain with near-identical customizable bowl and burrito offerings. Qdoba differentiates by including guacamole and queso in the burrito price rather than charging extra as Chipotle does, which is a genuine and meaningful advantage. But consumer reviews cited by Yahoo and Cheapism consistently fault Qdoba for inconsistency. The quality gap between a good Qdoba visit and a bad one is wider than it should be for a chain competing directly with Chipotle on the premise of comparable quality. Chain 5 to stop visiting, Rubio's Coastal Grill. Rubio's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy for the second time in June 2024, closing approximately 48 locations. The first bankruptcy was in 2020. A chain rejected by its customer base twice in 4 years has produced a clear signal. Consumer reviews documented by Cheapism describe shrinking portions and declining quality as the causes. A reviewer summarized the consensus. Rubio's is only worth going to if you have coupons. A chain requiring a discount to be worth visiting is not making a case for itself on merit. The second bankruptcy and 48 closures are the market's documented verdict. Chain 4 to stop visiting, On the Border. On the Border filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on March 4, 2025, per federal bankruptcy court records. The chain had already closed 40 non-performing locations before the filing. Consumer reviews across multiple publications describe its food with the same characterization: Mexican-inspired food that strips away the vibrant flavors that make Mexican cuisine worth eating. The 2025 bankruptcy is the endpoint of a customer relationship the chain never successfully rebuilt after the fast casual revolution took its original audience. Chain 3 to stop visiting, Taco Cabana. Taco Cabana is a San Antonio-born Texas Tex-Mex chain that has been through multiple private equity ownership changes, each accompanied by cost-cutting that consumer reviews document as visible in the food quality. Yahoo's Worst Mexican Chains consumer sentiment analysis specifically named Taco Cabana among the chains facing criticism for poor food quality and high prices. The chain operates in the most competitive possible market for its identity, Texas, where genuinely excellent Tex-Mex is available from independent operators at every price point. A chain whose entire identity rests on authentic regional cooking, but whose operational decisions reflect cost-center management by absentee private equity ownership, faces a credibility problem that is harder to solve in its home market than it would be anywhere else. Chain 2 to stop visiting: Taco Bell. Taco Bell's meat has been the subject of 2 separate federal class action lawsuits over its content. In 2011, a lawsuit filed in the Central District of California alleged that Taco Bell's seasoned beef contained only 35% actual beef, with the remainder consisting of water, wheat oats, soy lecithin, maltodextrin, anti-dusting agent, and modified cornstarch. The plaintiff's attorney stated that wheat oats, soy lecithin, and maltodextrin are common allergens that are often added to processed foods as fillers because they are much less expensive than meat. Taco Bell disputed the 35% figure and launched a $3 to $4 million nationwide advertising campaign asserting its beef was 88% beef by weight. The lawsuit was voluntarily withdrawn after Taco Bell made changes to its marketing and product disclosure. No money changed hands, and Taco Bell maintained it was not changing its products or ingredients. In July 2023, a new federal class action was filed in the Eastern District of New York alleging that Taco Bell's Crunchwrap Supremes, Grande Crunch Wraps, and Mexican pizzas contain approximately half of the advertised filling content. Plaintiff Frank Siragusa alleged he purchased a Mexican pizza at a Taco Bell in Ridgewood, New York, and received approximately half of the beef and bean filling shown in the company's own advertising photography. The case involves portion size advertising accuracy rather than ingredient composition. Additionally, Columbia, Missouri inspected 5 Taco Bell locations in 2024 and found that more than half had health code violations per Finance Buzz. And a multi-state cyclospora outbreak documented by the FDA and CDC was traced to Taco Bell lettuce, resulting in illnesses across multiple states. Chain 1 to stop visiting: Chipotle. Chipotle's legal record in the food safety category is the most extensively documented of any Mexican chain in the United States. On April 21, 2020, Chipotle signed a deferred prosecution agreement with the Department of Justice to resolve a federal criminal investigation into the company's food safety practices. Chipotle paid a $25 million criminal fine for norovirus outbreaks that sickened more than 1,100 customers between 2015 and 2018. Los Angeles-based U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna stated at the time that the $25 million penalty was the largest fine ever imposed in a food safety case in American history. The U.S. Attorney specifically stated that Chipotle failed to ensure that its employees both understood and complied with its food safety protocols, resulting in hundreds of customers across the country getting sick. The DOJ agreement is documented in Chipotle's own 10Q SEC filing from the third quarter of 2020, making it one of the most thoroughly self-documented food safety failures in the history of the restaurant industry. The criminal settlement did not end Chipotle's documented health code problems: finance. Buzz reported a Chipotle in Pensacola, Florida, was temporarily closed after an inspection found rodent droppings, and a separate Chipotle in Ocala, Florida, was shut down for live cockroach activity. Both occurred after the 2020 federal settlement. Chipotle has continued to grow significantly, which reflects the power of its brand marketing relative to the visibility of its food safety record. Worth visiting: Torchy's Tacos. Torchy's Tacos was founded in Austin, Texas in 2006 under the slogan "Damn Good Tacos," and independent taste tests and customer reviews have consistently justified that positioning. Torchy's prepares ingredients fresh at each location, including house-made sauces rather than centrally produced shipped components. The chain has expanded from Texas into multiple states while maintaining quality standards that customer reviews describe as genuinely above the fast casual Mexican competition. Worth visiting: Del Taco. Del Taco earns its place on specific documented quality advantages. Tasting Table's ranking cited that Del Taco slow cooks its beans from scratch daily, beating Taco Bell's refried bean pellets on quality grounds. Del Taco's chief marketing officer confirmed to QSR magazine that the chain places greater emphasis on fresh ingredients than Taco Bell. For consumers choosing between fast food Mexican options, Del Taco's production practices represent a meaningful quality advantage over the chain, with 2 class action lawsuits about the content of its food. Worth visiting: Your local taqueria. The single most impactful food decision in the Mexican restaurant category is the same decision that applies in every chain category this channel covers. A locally owned taqueria operated by people who came from Mexican food culture, who make their salsas from fresh tomatoes and chiles rather than a corporate-approved recipe, whose tortillas may be pressed in-house, and whose carnitas and barbacoa are prepared through actual traditional cooking methods rather than industrial production, delivers a categorically different product from every chain on this list. The price per taco at a local taqueria is typically lower than any chain. The authenticity is not a marketing claim. It is a function of who is cooking and why. And no private equity firm, Focus Brands parent company, or DOJ criminal investigation is involved in whether your taqueria cleans its cutting board. Subscribe, because we are running the same verified standard across every major food and restaurant category, so you always know what the documented record actually says before you order.